It's always in my way. Welcome back to my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. I'm Calvin. Thank y'all so much for stopping by again today. The most expensive thing you'll ever do in the Philippines, if you do it, is to buy out the contract of an OFW. But what's an OFW? It's an overseas Filipino worker. In my humble opinion, they're heroes. I have the utmost respect for them. This isn't about OFWs. This is about the men who buy out their contracts so that the woman can be with them sooner to get married or whatever it is. The sacrifices that OFWs make for this country, you can't put a monetary value on it. As a matter of fact, the remittances they send back, most of them send all their money back to their families over here. It's 1/10 of the GDP. Many of them don't see their families for years. They go to just extreme lengths to get the job. They go into great debt just to be hard. Imagine having to move overseas, far away, a lot of times in the Middle East, some of them in Canada, Africa, just to get a job. So what this is about is the expense if you decide to do that. It's the most expensive thing you'll do over here. It costs more in some cases to buy out a contract of an OFW than it does to pay for an annulment. You say, well, why do men do it? I don't know. That's a good question. I had no idea that it had become so common. There's so many men are doing it. I know 3 guys myself who have done it in the last couple of years. 2 have done it in the last year. I just didn't know, and I certainly didn't know how expensive it was. On the low end, the guy says he paid $150,000 because the woman had just started working. She had only been there like 6 months or something. But the other guy, he said he paid $500,000, including the documentation fees, the money she owed, the return ticket back to the Philippines. I was like, what? He said, yeah, $500,000. And I tipped my head to him. I said, man, you really must want to make this work. You must really see something in that woman that you would spend that kind of money, because that's more money that he paid for the OFW contract than some people pay over here for an annulment. And in both cases, you're buying her freedom, because when you sign these OFW contracts, you're locked in for the length of the contract. It's usually like 2 or 3 years. If you don't buy it out, you're stuck over there wherever you are. And for most OFWs, it works out. Like I said, they buy homes here. Okay, the real estate market a lot of times was built on the backs of OFWs. They just mean so much to the country. But some women are mistreated. Men and women are mistreated over there. Some even lose their lives. But it's very, very expensive if you're thinking about doing it. I would say look into it, because it just all depends on how long the woman's been on the job, where her job is, the agency she went through. But he paid $500,000. I think the third guy probably paid somewhere in between there, because when I looked it up, I was looking for information. What does it cost to terminate a contract like that? And the only article I could find was 2018, and it said it could go anywhere from $28,000 to $358,000. And I was like, no way somebody's paying $358,000, until I met my friend. He's $500,000. He's here now. He's in Mindanao. I got receipts. I don't make up these stories. But it just goes to show you that men will go to any lengths to have a Filipino wife or girlfriend. I don't know if you can go anywhere else on the planet where we do such extreme things like we do over here. And that's besides all the other stupid stuff we do. But I'm not saying this is stupid. I'm just saying that goes on top of all the other stuff we do to have a woman over here. Because, they got the reputation. They're beautiful. They're loyal. They're committed. They're traditional women. Look, they're submissive. And some men just can't wait. Put in the comments if you know somebody or you've bought out of OFW's contract yourself. Very expensive. And without that money, she's locked in there. But I would say don't do it. I would say, look, man, first of all, she's got a job. Okay, it gives her a purpose. She's sending money back to her family. She's helping out. Now, if you buy out the contract, guess what? She no longer has a job. She's no longer sending money to the family. So not only are you paying let's just say $350,000 for the contract, but now you got to give her money every month so she can give to her family. That's a lot of money, guys. There's an annulment, so this is why I tell guys, be careful when you deal with OFWs. A friend of mine, he was right over to my guest house last night. He's with OFW, but like I said, she's a seasoned OFW. She's happy. She knows what she's doing. She ain't trying to get her contract bought out. She's been OFW for 16 years. She's successful, basically, as an OFW. But some of you guys, you're dealing with women who've had a change of heart. They don't want to be in Saudi Arabia. They don't want to be in Kuwait, away from their children and their families. And then they end up meeting you, and you're a willing participant to buy that out. They'll tell you, yeah, if you really love me, then you'll buy it out so I can get back home sooner to you, and we can spend our lives together, and whatever else it is that they tell you. But something else, because I'm going to tell you, buying her freedom can be very expensive. I'm going to do a live stream on it. I'm going to do a live stream every Tuesday just for my regular members, not my members only. Because a lot of people have been asking me, Cal, could you just do maybe one a month or something like that? And I will, but I got to be careful. See, I've stopped worrying about my views and everything like that, certainly my live streams, because now that I'm drawing my Social Security, I can only earn up to a certain amount. And I don't want them fooling with my benefits. But I'm going to do a video on this because this is very important. Man, we spend a lot of money over here. I'm going to add this to my ATM series because whenever you're spending money, unnecessarily, by the way, I believe that should be part of the series. And this is unnecessary money. Okay, if you're dealing with OFW has a change of heart, man, throw her back. Say, hey, look, you made that commitment. If you ain't going to live up to that commitment, what makes me think you're going to live up to the commitment with me? Maybe you got a track record of breaking commitments. Or what about an annulment? Remember, this guy paid $500,000 to break that contract, more than an annulment. Same thing. Look, guys, it's enough women over here, single women. You don't have to fool with a separated woman or a married woman. Because basically, in either case, you're paying for somebody else's mistakes. But when it comes to this annulment, not only are you buying her freedom, you're buying the husband's freedom too. You're paying for their mistake. I don't know, man. I think we overvalue the coochie here. I remember it was a song by the Ghetto Boys. I forgot the name of it, but Willie D, one of the rappers, said, he said this, he said, you think your pussy's made of gold, but it's not. You can't get a dime for it at the pawn shop. But I think the men are doing that. I think we're overvaluing the coochie over here, man, and we're spending just crazy amounts of money on top of all the other stuff we spend for. But annulment, and then also, one question you need to ask this woman you're chatting with, or you're meeting, do you have any debts? Because a lot of times part of the culture over here, people borrow. So her debts become your debts. So if she's got a debt, that she's locked into, most people who get these 5, 6 loans over here, they just pay the interest. And they'll pay for the interest for years until you come along and buy her out of that. You buy her freedom, basically. But we won't ask those kind of questions. We'll wait, because she's not going to tell you up front. She's not even going to tell you she's married for real. She'll wait until you get hooked. And she'll say, oh, by the way, I'm married. Or I owe $50,000 to my auntie. I'm just paying her the interest every month. Because if I told you, maybe you didn't want me, or something like that, guys. We just need to start asking more questions. I don't know if men go to the lengths for a woman in the Philippines go to the lengths anywhere else as they do when they come to the Philippines for a woman. You know, that's just my opinion, okay? But it's expensive already to date over here. Then on top of that, you're gonna spend to buy out a contract? Luckily, that guy had it. He's a successful businessman. $500,000. I was shocked when he said that. I had no idea. When the guy told me, and this is a real close friend of mine who said he paid $150, I was like, well, damn, that's a lot. But it's not really. Men are paying more than that. Are we overvaluing the coochie, guys? Answer me. Put in a contract. Is any woman worth that amount? Any strange woman, basically. You don't even know if it's going to work out. A lot of times you buy out the contract. You get the annulment. You get her out of the loan, and guess what? She runs off. She don't even want you now. You're taking a great risk, guys, when you do that. I'm not telling you to do it. It's your money. You're not going to listen to me anyway. You don't even listen to your damn family, remember? You're not going to listen to me. I just like to talk about this stuff because, trust me, I'm learning something new every day. I had no idea it was so common of men to spend that kind of money over here, getting those young women out of those contracts. It's crazy, man. So if you're in America, if you're in the Philippines, wherever you are, find in your heart to help somebody. Not a day goes by that I don't help somebody. Because if I don't know anything else, I know this one thing for sure. When we help other people, we help ourselves. Take care. Stay safe, stay out of trouble. I'll see you next time. Don't do anything stupid. Stop spending money on top of money. You hustling backwards. It's almost like going to the casino, man. You losing, and you just keep putting more money, chasing that money. We overvaluing the coochie over here. It's not worth it, man. And there's no guarantee that once you pay all those debts out and all that, that she's even going to stay with you or it's even going to work. As a matter of fact, my friend that spent the $150, they're not even together. She's happy. She's back with her kids and everything like that. Leave these married women alone over here. Stop paying for somebody else's mistakes over here. Not only you buying her freedom, you're buying the husband's freedom. And you're only getting one side of the story. If she's not going to live up to the commitment with that contract or that marriage or that loan, what makes you think she's going to live up to her commitment to you?
Boots on the ground, don't do nothing stupid. Give that man his flowers, a tribute through music. If I don't know nothing, I know one thing. When we help others,